If a boat has survived 30 or 40 years and it's still running, what does that actually tell you? It tells you the boat was built right the first time. Most buyers walk the docks looking for the newest hull, the biggest name, the model with a marketing budget behind it. In doing so, they walk right past boats that have already proven, decade after decade, exactly what they're capable of. Of course, no boat runs forever without proper maintenance. What these five have earned is a reputation for staying reliable when properly maintained. A reputation built by thousands of owners over decades of real-world use, rather than a single well-funded advertising campaign. Welcome back to Engine Loom. Today, we're counting down 5 dirt-cheap motor yachts that most buyers walk right past, and by the end, you'll understand why that's their loss and could be your gain. Let's get into it. 1. Carver 355 Aft Cabin. Carver introduced the 355 during a period when the company was expanding beyond simpler cruisers into genuinely serious aft cabin motor yachts. The target buyer wanted true separation between an owner's stateroom and a guest cabin, something that usually required stepping up into a much larger, pricier boat. Carver built that layout into a hull specifically designed to carry it, and the 355 became popular among buyers who wanted a larger motor yacht feel without the corresponding price tag, consistently offering more usable interior volume per dollar than boats, carrying more recognizable names. Buyers often dismiss this yacht before they've even clicked into the listing, simply because the Carver name has developed a reputation for being ordinary rather than aspirational. Carver never had the marketing muscle of some competitors, so the badge carries less prestige, even though the boat underneath tells a completely different story than the name suggests. 2. Silverton 34 Convertible. Silverton built the 34 for a buyer who wanted one boat capable of 2 very different jobs: serious offshore fishing and comfortable overnight cruising without forcing a compromise on either priority. Introduced during an era when convertible sport fishers were becoming increasingly specialized and increasingly expensive, Silverton positioned the 34 as the accessible alternative, a boat that could genuinely fish hard on a Saturday morning and comfortably host a family for a weekend away. Enormously popular among weekend anglers who weren't chasing tournament trophies. Practical insurance that matters enormously for anyone running beyond sight of land. Mechanics appreciate the straightforward engine room layout, and parts availability remains solid, given how many of these boats were built. Before buying, have a surveyor pay particular attention to the transom and cockpit sole for stress cracking from years of fishing use, and review engine maintenance records carefully given how many of these boats saw genuinely demanding offshore duty rather than gentle weekend cruising. The Silverton earned a particularly loyal following among East Coast anglers who wanted genuine fishing capability without paying true sport fish prices, and that community still trades stories about boats that have logged remarkable offshore mileage decades after leaving the factory. 3. Bayliner 3288 Motor Yacht. Bayliner introduced the 3288 as part of a broader push into the command bridge segment, a category of boat that placed the primary helm inside a raised enclosed structure rather than on an open flybridge. The target buyer wanted genuine motor yacht comfort and weather protection at the helm without paying the premium that brands like Sea Ray or Carver commanded for a similar layout. And it became genuinely popular among buyers who wanted to step up from a simple cruiser into something that felt like a real yacht without the corresponding price jump. Most shoppers today scroll right past Bayliner in a search filter before they've even looked at a single photo. The name carries a budget reputation earned by decades of producing enormous numbers of entry-level boats across every price point. And that broad reputation unfairly follows the 3288 even though it represents a genuinely more serious tier of the brand's lineup. Construction on the command bridge models is more substantial than Bayliner's smaller runabouts, with a hull and superstructure genuinely engineered to support the raised bridge structure without excessive flex, and these hulls have proven durable over decades provided owners kept up with routine maintenance. The biggest advantage of this model is its command bridge layout. Because the primary helm sits inside its own dedicated weather-protected space, the salon below is freed to function, purely as living space, rather than needing to accommodate a lower helm station as well. That single design decision changes the entire character of the interior, giving owners a salon that genuinely feels like a small living room, rather than a shared space compromised by navigation equipment. The interior includes a genuine stateroom separate from the salon, and a head that handles real daily use, rather than functioning as an afterthought. The 3288 has become a familiar sight among Great Loop cruisers, specifically owners who wanted genuine motor yacht comfort for extended months-long travel without the price tag of a purpose-built trawler. The enclosed helm provides a real comfort, advantage on a cool morning or when weather turns unexpectedly, something an open flybridge simply cannot offer. Twin gas engines are common on this model, and mechanics appreciate their straightforward accessibility and the widespread familiarity that comes from an engine platform used across countless boats. Parts availability remains excellent, and longtime owners frequently mention that the boat has simply never given them a reason to complain. A quiet but meaningful endorsement after years of ownership. Before buying, have a surveyor check the command bridge structure carefully for any signs of stress or water intrusion around the mounting points, and verify that all electronics and navigation equipment are functioning, since updated systems vary considerably from boat to boat, depending on the previous owner's investment. Once you understand what this boat offers, it's hard to look at the asking price the same way. And if that kind of hidden value has your attention, our next boat takes the concept even further, genuinely competing with names that cost considerably more. 4. Cruisers Yachts. 3650 Motor Yacht. Cruisers Yachts introduced the 3650 as part of the company's push-up market, an attempt to compete directly with more established motor yacht builders by matching their interior finish quality at a noticeably lower price point. The target buyer wanted genuine yacht-level comfort and craftsmanship without paying for the brand recognition that competitors had spent decades building. And the model became popular specifically among buyers who did careful side-by-side comparisons rather than simply defaulting to a familiar name. Twin engines give the boat genuine performance that lets it comfortably keep pace with faster company on the water. And engine hours on well-maintained examples often run lower than the boat's age would suggest, evidence of owners who used these boats carefully and kept up with maintenance consistently over the decades, rather than running them hard and deferring service. Mechanics generally find the engine room reasonably accessible, though it does require some care to navigate comfortably during routine maintenance. 5. Sea Ray 390 Motor Yacht. At first glance, this choice might seem surprising. Sea Ray is one of the best-known names in boating, but this isn't about the brand. It's about one specific model that buyers consistently overlook while chasing newer Sea Rays instead. By the time the 390 arrived, Sea Ray had already earned a reputation for building yachts that felt more expensive than they were. And the target buyer wanted genuine proven motor yacht quality without stepping into the largest and most expensive models in the lineup. Parts availability remains excellent, given how widely distributed these boats were, meaning a qualified mechanic is rarely hard to find wherever your travels take you. Longtime Sea Ray 390 owners consistently describe a boat that simply does what's asked of it without demanding constant attention. A quality that becomes considerably more valuable the longer you actually live with a boat rather than just admire it at the dock. Remember the question we started with? If a boat has survived 30 or 40 years and it's still earning the trust of its owners today, that's usually telling you something. It was built right the first time. Every boat on today's list shares the same story. Solid construction, trusted engines, real onboard comfort, at prices that only make sense once you understand why nobody's bidding against you for them. That's not a coincidence. It's a gap in the market that rewards buyers willing to do a little homework instead of chasing the same handful of famous names everyone else is fighting over. Sometimes the smartest boat in the marina isn't the one everyone recognizes. It's the one everyone overlooked. Which of these 5 would you actually buy? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe to Boat Hunter, and turn on notifications so you never miss another honest boat review or buying guide. Thanks for watching Boat Hunter. I'll see you in the next one.